Hi, I'm Justin from Tom's Backwoods, and you're watching Intense Angler's Tip of the Week.
Hey there guys, John here of course, and just like Justin, who you saw at the beginning of this video with his awesome yo-yo tricks, I'm going to show you some pretty cool tricks of my own involving common household drinking straws of all things, and some of the really cool applications that these things can have in the outdoors. I think you're really going to like some of these. So let's jump into this and see what you think. Now the first application that we're going to demonstrate around these drinking straws, and one of my personal favorites, is what is known as the FireStraw. And the concept behind this is exceedingly simple. What we're doing is simply taking a proven effective fire starter, the good old Vaseline soaked cotton ball, and repackaging it into a simple drinking straw. And as you can see, the upside to this is that it is not only waterproof, but it is much more compact and visible as well, making it much easier to locate in your pack or in the event that you inadvertently drop it in an emergency situation. So let's take a look really quickly at how to make one of these. Now the first step in this process is making our cotton ball. We simply take a little bit of our petroleum jelly and work that into the cotton ball, getting that nice and saturated in there. Once we have our cotton ball ready to go, it's time to move on to the straw. We'll take about a 2-inch section of this straw here and go ahead and just snip that off. Next, we'll take a pair of pliers and work fairly close to the edge there, and using a lighter, go ahead and heat up the end of that. Simply move down a little bit and clamp off the end. That'll give you a nice tight waterproof seal. Now it's time to work the cotton ball into the drinking straw here. We'll pull that apart just a little bit to allow it to go in there. And what I found to be useful is to utilize some type of either small object, whether a screwdriver, possibly a small stick, even a match would work in a situation like this. And just proceed to stuff that cotton ball down into the drinking straw. And as you can see, it's a nice, easy little fit. And once you've accomplished that, we'll go ahead and take our trusty pliers once again, and moving on to the other end, repeat the process of sealing that up. Alright, well there you go, the finished product. Now when you're ready to use these, the process is very simple. Simply take a pair of scissors or your knife and snip off one end of the straw, pull out a little bit of the Vaseline soaked cotton ball, and you're now ready to strike a fire to it. Once you have the fire going, simply place some of your tinder, your sticks, your twigs, and before long you'll have a nice warm fire going. Another one of my absolutely favorite uses for these drinking straws is to utilize them for a very simple and compact little spice system for your backpacking or hiking needs. It definitely helps liven up the food. So to make these, once again, very simple. We'll take drinking straws, and in this instance, if you're making multiple packs, I like to use different colored straws for easier identification. Now we've melted one end like we did in the previous demonstration, and we'll leave one end opened. And to fill these, we'll simply take one of our spices, in this case an all-around seasoning, and simply push the straw down into the mixture and spill it all over the place in the process, and just kind of work that down in there. And you'll repeat this process a few times to basically pack the straw full of the spice that you happen to be choosing. Now once your straw is filled to approximately about 1 inch from the end, we'll simply take the end, bend it over slightly, and form a little bit of a crease in that, so it looks a little something like that. Next we'll take a snipped off piece of straw, approximately 1/2 inch long, and we'll go ahead and just slide that down over the top, and that's going to seal up our little spice pack really nicely there. And the reason we're doing it this way is when you're ready to use it, as you will multiple times during a trip, it's very easy to simply open that back up and dump out a little spice on your food, making for a nice, enjoyable meal. Yet another fantastic use for these drinking straws is in first aid applications. And in this case, we are going to be using some antibiotic ointment to make some one-time use little antibiotic ointment packets. And it's very simple. In this case, I like to use the clear drinking straws so you can clearly see the contents of what is in the packet here. And what we've done is taken a very small piece, approximately an inch and a quarter of the straw, and we've sealed it at one end using the plier and lighter method. Now, this is really simple. As you can see, we're simply squeezing a little bit of that ointment into the packet, and we'll go ahead and set that aside. Take our trusty pliers and go ahead and squeeze that. Now you're going to end up with a little bit coming out, which you're going to want to wipe off, and fire that up and seal her up. And there you have it. You have a nice and simple little one-time use antibiotic ointment packet that can be used for those little cuts and scrapes and other injuries that are so common when we're spending time in the outdoors. Along the lines of first aid and medical uses, these straws once again excel at these types of applications. You can use them as storage devices for your pills or important medications. And once again, I like using the clear straws for these type of applications because it makes the medication very easy to identify. You definitely don't want to mix up your medications while you're out in the field. And you can once again either simply seal that, or for a medication like this, which happens to be allergy medications, which you'll be frequently using if you suffer from allergies, we'll go ahead and use our technique of simply bending over the end of the straw, taking a small section and placing that over the cap. That is going to provide you with some waterproofness, a little bit of protection there, and still retain some easy access to your pills. Now, if you do have pills that are extremely important and only for emergencies that you absolutely do not want ruined, you're probably going to want to seal that end to ensure that they're going to be protected from the elements. Those of us that are backpackers and hikers know how difficult it can be to transport certain types of liquids with us on our backcountry excursions. And once again, this is a good case where these straws excel. Now, all we do is simply take a vessel and the liquid of our choice. In this case, we're going to be using a little bit of olive oil. As you can see, I've kind of got a theme going here of cooking. I absolutely love eating in the outdoors. But this can be used with other things such as single-use mouthwash or any type of liquid you can imagine. So we've taken a straw once again and sealed up the end. You're going to want to make sure that you have a completely waterproof seal on that. And we're taking an eyedropper. Now you can use a simple household funnel or a syringe, anything of that nature. But you're simply going to want to draw a little bit of that liquid out. And very, very simple process here of filling up your straw with whatever liquid is your preference. And if you'll notice, I've left a little bit of an air pocket at the end here, and this just allows for compression in the event this does get crushed in your pack. You're not going to have the straw explode on you and have the contents all over your gear, which is one of the last things you want. And one more fantastic use for these drinking straws is to utilize them for small survival type items, whether they be a storage vessel to keep your matches nice and dry, or as we're going to do here, to make a simple little survival fishing kit. We'll insert a little bit of fishing line in there, along with a couple of small weights, and I'm actually going to press that down with a match. And go ahead and top that off with a couple of fishing hooks. And we're going to go ahead and seal up that. Now this is especially important, of course, when using something you need to protect, such as your matches. But just as a quick example, there you go. You have a nice, compact little item to add to your survival kit or your emergency kit. Well, there you go, guys. Just a few uses for your common, basic household drinking straw. Hopefully there's one or two of them in there that may come in handy for you when you're spending time in the outdoors. Now, before we go here, I need to take a second to thank Justin and Tom over at Tom's Backwoods for taking the time to put together the intro for this week's Tip of the Week. I do gotta say, Justin, you rock with that yo-yo, brother. You're the master. And if you guys aren't familiar with Tom's Backwoods over here on YouTube, you gotta check him out. He's got some rock solid videos. Beautiful scenery, beautiful trip videos. He's a very true outdoorsman and has got a lot of knowledge to share. So definitely pay him a visit. And that's about all I got. I do want to say thanks a lot to all of you guys out there for all the support that you continue to extend my way. It is truly appreciated. And until next time, you guys take the best of care and we'll be seeing you soon.